Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing another episode of On My Radar where I let you know everything that's coming out that I got interested in by looking at the book cover, the author name, or whatever other reason. It just stood out to me, so it's on my radar. Now I'm putting it on your radar, letting you know the books that are coming out between today and this Saturday. So, yeah, you want your book to be featured because you're an author too? Check out the form down below, fill it out, and you will be considered. It just gets your book in front of my eyes for me to determine whether I want to feature it or not. Nobody's books are guaranteed. I don't get paid to put any specific books on here. It is all just the books that catch my eye. And let's get into those books now. The Nightmare Man by J.H. Markert comes in at 336 pages and it is marketed as fiction horror. T. Kingfisher meets Cassandra Call in a chilling horror novel that illustrates the fine line between humanity and monstrosity. Blackwood Mansion looms surrounded by nightmare pines atop the hill over the small town of Crooked Tree. Ben Bookman, best-selling novelist and heir to the Blackwood estate, spent a weekend at the ancestral home to finish writing his latest horror novel, The Scarecrow. Now, on the eve of the book's release, the terrible story within begins to unfold in real life. Detective Mills arrives at the scene of a gruesome murder, a family butchered and bundled inside cocoons stitched from corn husk and hung from the rafters of a barn, eerily mirroring the opening of Bookman's latest novel. When another family is killed in a similar manner, Mills, along with his daughter, rookie detective Samantha Blue, is determined to find the link to the book and the killer before the story reaches its chilling climax. As the series of Scarecrow crimes continues to mirror the book, Ben quickly becomes the prime suspect. He can't remember much from the night he finished writing the novel, but he knows he wrote it in the atrium, his grandfather's forbidden room full of numbered books. Thousands of books, books without words. As Ben digs deep into Blackwood's history, he learns he may have triggered a release of something trapped long ago, and it won't stop with the horrors buried within the pages of his book. This author is from Oklahoma. J.H. Markert is a producer, screenwriter, husband, and father of two from Louisville, Kentucky, where he was also a tennis pro for 25 years before hanging up the rackets for good in 2020. He graduated with a degree in history from the University of Louisville in 1997 and has been writing ever since. Married for a Month by Susan Mallory comes in at 368 pages and is marketed as fiction, romance, and contemporary for adults. Two former lovers argue over the key to everlasting love in this charming, funny, and steamy romance from the one-of-a-kind author Susan Mallory. Taylor McGuire, a hard-working single mom with a PhD in psychology, believes that compatibility is the key to a successful marriage. Best-selling relationship guru Jonathan Kirby believes it's sexual chemistry. So when these two former lovers meet up on national TV, it's more than just a difference of expert opinion that sets the sparks flying between them. And when Taylor puts forth her theory on love, Jonathan can't help but challenge, "Wanna bet?" So begins an unconventional contest. 40 couples involved in a month-long mock marriage for a chance to win $1 million, which puts Taylor's and Jonathan's professional reputations on the line. As the competition heats up, so does the attraction, and as they fall for each other, the two experts realize that love is not a science. Sometimes it's just magic. Susan Mallory is the #1 New York Times bestselling author of novels about the relationships that define women's lives, family, friendships, and romance. 40 million copies of her warm, humorous books have sold worldwide. Passionate about animal welfare, she grew up in California and now lives in Seattle with her husband and ragdoll cat and adorable poodle. Find her online at susanmallory.com. Waking Fire by Jean Louise comes in at 384 pages and is marketed as young adult fiction fantasy for ages 13 and up. This incendiary YA fantasy debut follows a girl who will stop at nothing to save her village after it's discovered by a dangerous warlord and his army of undead monsters. Nara Kuum has only known life in Lagusa, a quiet village at the desert's end. But to the rest of the world, Lagusa is a myth, its location shrouded in secrecy. While war rages to the north, led by power-hungry Sothpike and his army of undead monsters called Dombi, Nara's people live in peace, until the impossible happens. Lagusa is attacked by a mistress sent to do Sothpike's bidding, with a horde of Dombi under her control. The mistress is looking for something, and she's willing to let her Dombi destroy Lagusa to get it. Desperate to protect her home, Nira convinces her twin brother Nez and handsome refugee Cal to join the newly formed resistance with her. Together, they'll have to figure out what the mistress wants before there's nothing left of Lagusa to save. Originally from Cleveland, Ohio, Jean Louise currently lives in Queens, New York, with her cat Martha. When she's not writing, she can be found with her nose buried in a graphic novel or taking down bad guys in her favorite video games. She received an MFA in Writing for Children for the New School. This is her debut novel. We're All So Good at Smiling by Amber McBride comes in at 304 pages and is marketed as young adult fiction, social themes, and mental illness for ages 14 to 17. They Both Die at the End meets the bell jar in this haunting, beautiful YA novel in verse about clinical depression and healing from trauma from National Book Award finalist Amber McBride. Whimsy is back in this hospital for treatment of clinical depression. When she meets a boy named Fairy, she recognizes that they both have magic in the marrow of their bones. And when Fairy and his family move to the same street, the two start to realize that their lifelines may have twined and untwined many times before. They are both terrified of the forest at the end of Marsh Creek Lane. The forest whispers to Whimsy. The forest might hold the answers to the part of Fairy he feels is missing. They discover the forest holds monsters, fairy tales, and pain that they have both been running from for 11 years. Amber McBride estimates she reads about 100 books a year. Her work has been published in literary magazines, including Plowshares and Provincetown Arts. Her debut YA novel in verse, Me, Moth, was published in August 2021 and went on to be named a National Book Award finalist. She is a professor of English literature and creative writing at the University of Virginia and lives in Charlottesville. Her Twitter is at MSAMBS Nicole. Instagram is at AMBS McBride. And you can also find her at tattooeddoves.com. Friday I'm in Love by Cameron Garrett comes in at 288 pages and is marketed as young adult fiction, romance, LGBTQ+, for ages 12 and up or grades 7 and up. It's too late for a Sweet 16, but what if Mahalia has a coming out party, a love letter to romantic comedies, Sweet 16 blowouts, black joy, and queer pride, a perfect ode to romantic comedies wrapped in a dazzling rainbow dress, says Rachel Lippincott, #1 New York Times bestselling author of 5 Feet Apart and She Gets the Girl. Mahalia Harris wants She wants a big sweet 16 like her best friend Naomi. She wants the super cute new girl Saboan to like her back. She wants a break from worrying about money, snide remarks from white classmates, pitying looks from church ladies, all of it. Then inspiration strikes. It's too late for a sweet 16, but what if she has a coming out party? A singing, dancing, rainbow cake eating celebration of queerness on her own terms. The idea lights a fire beneath her, and soon Mahalia is scrimping and saving, taking on extra hours at her after-school job, trying on dresses, and awkwardly flirting with Saboan, all in preparation for the coming out of her dreams. But it's not long before she's buried in a mountain of bills, unfinished schoolwork, and enough drama to make her English lit teacher blush. With all the responsibility on her shoulders, will Mahalia's party be over before it's even begun? A novel about finding yourself, falling in love, and celebrating what makes you you. Mahalia's story lives, breathes, and glows. I'm in love with it every day of the week, says Becky Albertalli, #1 New York Times bestselling author of Simon versus the Homo sapiens Agenda. Cameron Garrett grew up in New York and began her writing career at 13 when she was elected as a Time for Kids reporter, interviewing celebrities like Warren Buffett and Kristen Bell. Since then, her writing has appeared on MTV and in HuffPost and Rookie magazine, and she was recently selected as one of Teen Vogue's 21 under 21 girls who are changing the world. When she's not writing, she studies film at NYU, and she's a proud advocate for diverse stories and storytellers in any medium. Her first two novels, Full Disclosure and Off the Record, received rave reviews from outlets such as EW, Glamour, and SLJ, which said in its starred review, readers will fall in love. Friday, I'm in Love is her third novel and first rom-com. She lives in Brooklyn, New York, and her hometown was Long Island, New York, and you can visit her at CameronGarrett.com. A Tale of Two Princes by Eric Guerin comes in at 448 pages, and it is a young adult fiction book about royalty, and it is for ages 13 and up. New York Times bestselling author Eric Guerin delivers whirlwind wish fulfillment in this story of a closeted crown prince and an out-and-proud cowboy who discover they were separated at birth. Edward Dennison leads a charmed life. He's the Crown Prince of Canada, gets the royal treatment at his exclusive private school, and resides in a ritzy mansion. He thrives off being the perfect prince as he prepares for the investiture ceremony on his 18th birthday, the final step in his role as heir, and Canada's future king. But this closeted crown prince has just one tiny problem. He's unsure how to tell his parents, his beloved country, and his adoring fans that he's gay. Billy Boone should be happy with the simple life. His family's ranch is his favorite place in the world. He loves his small town, and his boyfriend is the cutest guy at Little Timber High. So why does it feel like something's still missing? Maybe it has to do with the fact that this out and proud cowboy feels destined for something more. When Edward and Billy meet by chance in New York City, they discover that they are long-lost twins, and their lives are forever changed. Together, will these twinses, be able to take on high school, coming out, and coronations? Or will this royal reunion quickly become a royal train wreck? The enchanting cast of characters hooks you into a regal setting full of drama, romance, and intrigue, with relatable underlying journeys of self-love and struggle. Brian Zepka, author of The Temperature of Me and You, says. Eric Guerin is New York Times bestselling author of the Hocus Pocus spell book, Poltergeist, and Bye Bye Binary, along with numerous other titles, including the New York Times bestselling Descendants novelization under the name Rico Green. He earned his creative writing degree from the University of Miami and spent many years at Disney as an editor of New York Times bestselling books. And you can visit him at ericgueron.com. That's all I've got for this one. Make sure if you want to be featured that you go ahead and fill out the form down below. It's just going to put your book in front of my eyes to consider it as a featured book. And that's all I've got for you today. I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!